Let's get started with the draft. Transitioning in here, I have CavalierGuest with me, coach of Oxygen Esports. Let me get my cursor out of here. We don't want to see that. That's not part of the gameplay. All right.
No, cursors are production value. What?
Very professional streamer here. Going into Masters Clash here in the group stage. I'm looking forward to this. These teams have already played out through qualifiers, so we have our teams set for Masters Clash, and at this point they are playing for standing, for seeding here. CavalierGuest, how do you feel so far about this? What are you looking forward to this match here on Infernal Shrines in Game 1 of Three-Legged Cat versus Bang Bush?
I'm hoping that the EU meta is different from what we've seen in CCL, and maybe I get to see some heroes that are less common. I actually haven't looked too much into the meta of the teams that play in just Masters Clash but aren't also in CCL, because of course Masters Clash has slightly different teams.
Yeah, you always get a little bit of a different view of the meta, especially those regional divides between North America, between Europe. Very famously, I remember the Maiev divide, right when she came out. That was a really big one. Can you tell us more about what happened there, Kev?
Sure. Maiev was released, and actually Europe didn't think she was very good, and she was released right before an event called Western Clash, which was EU versus NA in HGC, and it was a LAN event. And Maiev is good, but Maiev is even better at LAN events, just because she fundamentally does more damage on lower ping, and that was a locally hosted event by Blizzard, so they had like literally 5 ping. And NA thought she was good, and EU literally hadn't practiced her because they thought she wasn't. And so NA actually took their first match wins in 2 years of competitive odds. I guess 15 months technically.
You're telling me that the BlizzCon champions went winless for a while there?
Oh yeah, for a while. They won a map but not a set, and I think you can literally attribute them winning their first set to Maiev existing and EU thinking she wasn't good.
Yeah, just seeing those divides between these regions, watching teams where one side, they develop their own meta, of course, because NA teams and EU teams were not screaming each other every day. There's a little bit more of interaction between NA and EU teams nowadays. You have EU teams crossing the pond to play in CCL. As I go through here, I just heard a noise, which means I got to turn on streamer mode so we don't get any of that interaction, any of that interruption here as we take it into the series for today. But enough on the history of these NA-EU splits. Let's look at this match that we have here. Three-Legged Cat on our left side, taking out Junkrat and Hanzo. No surprises. Mephisto, 3 classic AoE assassins, always a threat on Infernal Shrines. They want nothing to do with that. And Cav, I know you're shaking a little bit with that Hogger ban over there. I know Cav always wants to see a Hogger, maybe to flame, maybe to praise. But overall, do you think either team is showing their hand particularly here?
No, I think that Leoric pick is maybe a little early. Tychus is still available. Tychus is, in addition to being really good on Shrines, can really punish Leoric picks, but it looks like they're not going to pick it this up early. Muradin's a rough tank to play on Infernal Shrines. You have to put it pretty much off the Shrine, play for flanks, because you will just randomly get your Stormbolt eaten by the Shrine minions. It's not that it's bad, it's just difficult to play Muradin on Shrines.
Yeah, there's always the element of having to play around just those guardians, the goons all over the shrine, blocking any skill shots you see, as we have a hammer here, picked up by, I want to say Hiraeth, forgive me, and there's Drakir picking up the Tyrael, and I gotta say, this is a pairing, specifically the Tyrael Sergeant Hammer pairing, that I've always been a fan of. You get the ability to provide additive move speed bonuses to the Sergeant Hammer, allowing her to move at closer to normal movement speeds, even in hover siege mode, as well as outputting a ton of damage with that swift retribution. And there is a Zul'jin last pick from Ty on the other hand, from Bang Bush to round out the drafts right here. Cav, you seem surprised.
I've never seen Zul'jin played versus Hammer, so I don't know if it's actually good or not. Like, is this going to be wrong place, wrong time at 16? Is that reliable into a Hammer? It's definitely not reliable into a Swift-Threaded Hammer, but this is going to be auto-build Tyrael. Maybe that's the meta, I don't know. Maybe this is Guillotine. but it feels like Zul'jin should not be able to trade effectively into hammer comps. Like, intuitively, that's what I would think, but I've never seen it, so I guess we'll find out.
Well, speaking of an auto attacker struggling in this game, as we have Cascon here pointing out in the chat, we also in fact see a hammer into Blaze. And of course, anybody who's played this matchup knows nano machine coding at level 7, getting that attack speed slow onto Sergeant Hammer, who has no attack speed increases in her base kit until level 20. That can really cut down on your DPS, and you don't have the mobility to get out of that oil either in a super quick fashion. I think the Sergeant Hammer player is going to depend on Drakir with those Tyrael Swift Retributions, getting them out of those oils, getting the move speed to get them out of the oil, as well as giving them the attack speed necessary to compensate for that nano machine coding, slowing down their attack speed post 7. Cav, how would you describe that matchup, Hammer versus Blaze, from a scale of like 1 not countered at all to 10 countered? Where would you put it at right there?
An 8.
An 8. Okay, so that's pretty high up there. Alrighty. And now we have, what's up?
If Unstoppable cleansed attack speed slows, it could be a little bit different, because then you could counter it with level 4. But like attack speed slows and damage reduces and stuff are like some of the only things not cleansed by Unstoppable. Sanct does cleanse it though. So like if they get a Sanct under the hammer, maybe they can get like counter engages with that. But I think it's going to be pretty rough.
Alrighty, well, going into game 1, I'm looking forward to seeing some of these matchups play out, what the Zul'jin's going to do, what the Hammer's going to do. But here, for the side of Bangbush, we have Lauber on the Muradin, Henning on Rehgar, Bishop's playing the Lunara, Ty on Zul'jin, already giving him the axe, and Skog, please correct me on this, Cav, on the Blaze.
No, that's Sko on Blaze.
All right, Sko. Okay, and then on the other hand, because Cav has to watch through my screen, I'm going to go ahead and do both. We have Drakira on the Tyrael, Captain Rex on Andu, and Hiraeth playing Sergeant Hammer. Let's go down here, Maitri on Sylv, and way up at the top, Johan Ayaya. I'm not quite sure which specific player that is, playing Leoric for three-legged cat. Both teams now vying for control. Hold on a second. Drakir already getting jumped on the rotation, is able to pop right on out of there with the sword. Some feisty play for Bangbush, and surely they're going to try and get some fighting in here. Going to try and pick up some of those Zul'jin axes right off the bat.
The Orc actually got Prio on the Blaze, but because of that interference with the rotation, it turns out that Three Leg couldn't do anything with that Prio, and Leoric's not clearing that wave efficiently. That's going to bother me. Hopefully we don't see that too much. And they're just going to trade things here. But again, Leoric with the pressure, they like Three Leg should go bottom and do bottom camp right now. They should be, and they should 100% win that. It's going to be bad if they don't, considering how far ahead they are on the rotation.
Well, we do in fact see Three-Legged Cat playing for this bottom siege camp right now. Lauber landing the Stormbolt over the wall onto Hiraeth, but it looks like they don't have too many other tools in addition to that. Ty chipping away at Drakir, not able to push him off. Johanna Yaya all the way here in this bottom lane. This does cede a minor XP advantage in favor of Bangbush. We see Sko camping top lane, getting that siege damage onto the tower, not rotating in the slightest, willing to cede that bottom siege camp. Bishop's now clearing mid. A bit of a scuffle. I missed that a little bit right there. Lauber losing half HP, but it's Muradin. Muradin misses his HP. He can just get it right back with a little bit of a rotation. Maitri and Bishop's duking it out in mid lane here, looking for the prio control, posturing onto each other.
I'm really wishing they would just push... Yeah, okay, they're finally doing it. I really wish they would just push bottom with Hammer, honestly. They shouldn't be able to die in the early game, especially with pull. And other than giving Zul'jin a little bit of stackage, it feels like they can't really do much about it with their calm.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at a comp like this, what we have for Bangbush, they don't have a lot of ranged wave clear. One of the most critical elements for getting rid of that push, for defending against it in the early game at least. No nano machine coding, no presence of Blaze earlier. Now both teams cycling up over to their bruiser camps. At least, sorry, only Bangbush cycling over to their bruiser camp, as we now see Johanna making the rotation over Three-Legged Cat, clearing out mid lane. And I hear grumbles of discontent from Cav. What's going on?
Hammer shouldn't rotate. So the thing about Hammer comps that you really have to understand if you want to play them well is Hammer can't rotate. She just sucks at rotating. In the late game, you can force Hammer to rotate, but you have to do it like 30 to 40 seconds before anyone else does. It would have been better if they had just had Hammer push bottom this whole time because the Shrine spawned top. If they were planning on Hammer going top, Hammer needed to be mid around like 2 minutes. They shouldn't have stayed bottom. I assume because they're pushing bottom, they were just going to stay bottom with Hammer. that's not what it did.
Yeah, and that is because of Hammer's very notable lack of a mount, forcing her to walk across the map entirely. Johanna Yaya taking a few chip hits right there from Lauber, from Tai, and the right side Bang Bush here with a very large early advantage onto this Infernal Shrines. Now we see Lauber on the flank, and there's our first pause, 3 minutes, 40 seconds into the game. You love to see it, folks.
Yeah, EU players always seem to be lagging. I don't know what it is.
Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so guys, I'm going to go ahead and look at, just for right now, disabling this overlay for the moment, just because it does seem to be getting in the way of the talents, as pointed out in the chat. We don't want that. Or can I maybe, if I just go ahead and just, boop, let's see. That's about the best we're going to be able to do to avoid the snapping, so there we go. Thank you for pointing that out very quickly, Fish. I appreciate you. And the pause, you see, what happened here is the players knew that my overlay was in the way a little bit, and they just wanted to give us the chance to compensate for that. So it's not exactly 100% lined up. There's a little bit of a gap towards the top, but that's going to be better than nothing. I appreciate you very quickly allowing us to identify that problem, as we see both teams vying for control of this top shrine. What's up, Cav?
I think that overlay is designed for Aliobs.
Gotcha. Yeah, I unfortunately do not have Aliobs installed right now. Let's go ahead and flame me for that one. Or I do have Aliobs and it's designed for the base. We'll figure it out one way or the other. We should have it fixed, hopefully game 2 or 3. If not, we'll have it fixed tomorrow. For now, this is going to be okay. Let's see.
No, we got an R. We got 2 Rs.
Woo, let's get back into the action.
1. Let's go.
Lauber jumping right in immediately out of the pause, the tactical pause, setting up the kill onto Anduin, and that's going to be first blood off of the aggression by Lauber. And I gotta say, things are looking great for Bang Bush coming on out of this. Let me go ahead and hit that transition right there, getting that overlay shifted down for you folks. Sorry about the block. And there we see a strong early position in this game for Bang Bush. And what's going wrong so far? Is it just the rotation? Do you think something else is kicking in here on the side of three-legged cat, Kev?
I mean, Anduin can't be that far up. Obviously, the Leoric coming down and then staying for a full wave allowed Blaze to chip the wall, and that chip damage to the wall has resulted in the entire wall already being dead, so now it's really hard to defend the Punisher. First Punisher should never get a fort, like, if the early game has gone correctly. So if the Punisher does get a fort, you know you made a mistake. And like that is the thing you have to go back and like correct later on, but that's it's too late to do that in this game, unfortunately.
Yep, we know the team done goofed as we see Sko landing the jet propulsion onto Johan Ayaya, and that is now 2 kills to 0 in favor of Bang Bush here coming into this. Almost a full level lead, and they want to be aggressive off of this priority that they have here. Wraith clearing mid, My Try looking for the flank, but at this point their position is so established, this should be an easy camp steal, and they're going to walk right on out of there, making out like bandits. Landing another Stormbolt onto Johanna Yaya immediately out of the death. Cav, are you playing the Leoric here? As we see Lauber actually taking damage, will go down, gets the return kill. That's the first kill of the game for three-legged cat. Evening up a bit, we see some pings onto Rehgar. I choose to believe that those are from Lauber, and now Wraith pressuring onto mid lane.
From Lauber.
Oh, Bishop's getting big damage. Lands the double Q onto Sylvanas and Tyrael. Now Ty stepping forward, trying to get as many stacks of those Axe, but hold on, they're going to take a bit of damage from Drakir and her Wraith, and not too much is going to happen as a result of that. Level 10 advantage has been secured for Bang Bush, looking to get whatever they can. A little bit of push onto this mid lane, as Leoric just soaks it out top lane, trying to catch his team back on up.
So far this is the Zul'jini build. It's the spell power at 1, it's the stacking W quest at 7, it is guillotine. I imagine we're going to see wrong place, wrong time. So it is the build that I thought they were going to go. But again, I've never actually seen it into Hammer, so hopefully it's good. Like, I'm curious to see how many stacks he ends up with by the end of the game on that W7.
We're going to go ahead and take a few looks at that throughout the game here so far. 4 stacks on that W7 for Zul'jin. Lauber jumping in yet again directly onto My Try with a very short haunting wave, looking for the escape. Chastise from Anduin does not connect. Lauber just taking a bit of a gamble, not really risking too much, honestly. If they hit the Q, perfect. If they don't, hey, you get another shot in a few seconds. That's what Muradin is here for. We see Blaze and Leoric on our mini-maps right here. Johanna Yaya actually chasing Sko down a bit, getting him out of his territory, but her Wraith looking for the push here, feeling nice and comfortable in this bottom lane, getting whatever damage they can. Will go ahead and back off, though. Siege Camp pushing mid for Bang Bush.
This is a really fascinating question. Is it better for Hammer to stay sieged and give the Zul'jin stacks but get the building, or is it better for Hammer to unsiege and rotate? Well, rotating is definitely bad, but is it better for Hammer
Sko dives in, forced to bunker after the jet propulsion misses under that mid fort. Lauber's gonna hop on in there as well, getting whatever flamethrower hits they can. Now red side looking to back off, but here's Johanna Yaga on the flank, gets stunned with a well-timed jet propulsion, forced to back off. Maitri taking big damage. Aggressive sanctification moving forward. Oh, the guillotine is perfectly timed to hit afterward. Lauber receives the ancestral healing. That's a March of the Black King. Leoric will go down, 3 kills to 1 in favor of Bang Bush. It is a fiesta out here, a little bit tie, bruised but not down. Will back off, will get a little bit of that self-healing. 13 advantage is looming for Bang Bush, but not quite here yet. Both teams equal talent tiers for the second shrine of the game.
I'm really surprised to see March of the Black King when they have so many.
Oh, Johanna, yeah, whoa!
What? Too much trade value right there. Like, you're not supposed to die on cooldown. It's not how that works.
Could have fooled me, Kev. Anyway, so we see Johanna Yaya getting stunned by the jet propulsion. Yet again, gonna get finished off, I believe, by the crossfire by Sko. I'll stop flaming, Kev. I'm sorry. Now we see Henning biting in, jumping in, followed by Lauber as well. Lands the Stormbolt. That's a second kill for Bang Bush, chasing it in. Tyrael exploding all over them. Lauber not done with her Wraith just yet. Still going in, pops the Avatar. Her Wraith is looking bruised, gets another Stormbolt, and he's just taking him down by himself. Meanwhile, the rest of Red Team pressuring here. Lauber's going to be okay, and you can definitely see why he's been one of the most feared tank players of the history of HotS right there. Love to see that aggression, love to see that punish. Basically just man-moding that Sergeant Hammer in the backline all by himself. Now Three-Legged Cat forced to back off here, trying to get whatever they can as a result of this. Losing these first 2 objectives, that's not a great sign so far for Three-Legged Cat.
I'm more concerned that they had a whole fight where Light Bomb was not popped on anyone. Like, at some point, if you die and you haven't pushed all your buttons, that's like probably not a good thing.
Cav is super quiet in comparison to Mockery. I'm going to go ahead and bump him up for you. I got you. Thank you. If you have any issues with our production, please let me know. I have not cast on my own channel in a specific while. There's the Unstoppable used to block the hammer, followed up by the Guillotine. Will drop hammer down low. I have bumped Cav up. Let me know if that's a problem, as we see Midkeep starting to take significant damage less than 10 minutes into the game. Bang Bush wants to finish this off if they can. They're going to back off.
I feel like if Tyrael's going to go Swift Red, he needs to be on top of the hammer, just Swift Redding the hammer every smite cooldown. But he's so far away from the hammer that the hammer's not getting that. And the Orc is having a 1v1 with Zul'jin on the side of the fight there, which is not something he wins. They're not playing together. And you really got to play together for hammer comps. I'm really worried about Three-Legged's draft now. Just their execution of it, not the actual heroes.
I was about to say, how does the playstyle worry you about the draft? But that makes perfect sense. As we see now, Three-Legged Cat would love to get a fight on equal talent tiers if they can. The fights haven't looked great, but they are running out of opportunities. Maitri timed out of the Haunting Wave, and there's the Light Bomb, as well as the Sanctification. Lauber's in here, still got plenty of HP to work with. Stormbolt does not connect, gets another Ancestral Healing. Will Dwarf toss himself right on out of there. It is pronounced Guillotine Cascon. That is the correct way. I will hear nothing to the contrary. Sko getting some more pressure onto the top lane. Now 6 kills to 1 in favor of Bang Bush. Lauber just always stepping forward, looking for that aggression. You love to see a Muradin who knows how to use his tools, knows how to get in there. And Lauber's a guy I've seen climb the NA ladder playing on 130 ping with a mouse, not even a keyboard. Okay, this guy's crazy. You love to see it here. 16 advantage being used to pressure this siege camp in bot lane.
That was a really much better fight for Three-Legged. They all pushed their buttons, like even down 2 levels. They weren't down a talent tier yet, but they were down 2 levels in terms of scaling. The only problem was that Hammer was on the other side of that wall, and therefore Hammer could not participate in the chase. One of the reasons you draft Hammer materials is so Hammer can actually keep up but since Hammer was so far back, it didn't work out. But they didn't lose the fight, which is a dramatic improvement. And wrong place, wrong time, actually doing a decent amount of damage. I wonder how many stacks he is on the W7 now. It seems to be doing quite a bit of damage.
So let's go ahead and flash that W7. That's going to be 40 stacks for Ty at the moment right there. Oh wait, there's a couple more as we see him also finish off his quest. Zul'jin baseline quest achieved. A little bit of sieging going back and forth here in this bottom lane. Stun does connect onto Heraith, will set up Lunara. Actually, Q doesn't land, neither does Guillotine, almost taking a Heraith, but good presence of mind to step forward rather than backward. My try dropping very, very low. Does not get hit by the Stormbolt, however. And now some hits onto Three-Legged Cat, but none of them are going to specifically go down just quite yet. Lauber taking a few tower shots. He's going to be A-okay. They want to siege down this fort if possible. Bishop's not afraid to get in there. And here's the flank from Johanna Ayaya. Three-Legged Cat has a 5v4 if they can take it. We see Leoric on the flank.
They're actually going to force this fight before 16. I don't know what Leoric's doing here when he hasn't gotten his team caught up on talents. It looks like they're thinking that they can force, and they are going to get a kill onto Ty. Like, there's no way Ty lives here.
No,
right?
Ty gets the ancestral healing. He's okay
no
so
way.
far. Still is actually the first person to go
live.
down. And now 16 advantage still held for Bangbush at this point. This fight's going all over the place. And now 3 kills for Bangbush. Ty is looking fine. Sorry, 4 kills. I spoke too soon. Heraith gonna back on out of there. And not only do they win the 4v5, but Sko getting this split push pressure. And not only is Sko getting the split push pressure, but it's in the same lane that this objective is going to spawn, and actually gets the jet propulsion onto Heraith. I'm sorry I moved my camera away from that. I didn't think Heraith would walk into him. That's my bad, I guess. As we see Bangbush getting the mid keep, they're easily going to secure a second keep of the game as well. 3-level advantage at this point. Now backing off towards this top shrine that surely they believe will help them end this game.
My head hurts. You're not supposed to fight down talents, and if you are going to fight down talents, you really got to all in and make sure you get that kill, but they didn't all focus the Zul'jin. And I don't know how they didn't all focus the Zul'jin. They were all in range of him. He was blocked by Holy Ground. He literally couldn't move. What happened in that fight?
I will say, as Cascon pointed out, we do see an ancestral healing. That fight, we did see an ancestral healing, very well timed, connecting on to Ty there to save him. That's a well placed Holy Ground, forcing out the bunker from Sko. Needs it to stay alive. But now on the other side, Three-Legged Cat finds himself in danger, and it would get jumped on by Lauber, will get absolutely deleted. March of the Black King. Johanna Ayaya is in there. So much damage getting traded back and forth. Lauber knows he's in there. My try is the second to fall. Sorry, we've got 4 down now at this point. Heraith, the only remaining member of Three-Legged Cat. It's just a formality at this point. Heraith down. Full team ace in favor of Bangbush. 16 kills to 1. They're up 15. They don't even need the objective at this point. They're going to go ahead and end this game.
No, they could even if they wanted to bring up the mid catapult, which that doesn't even matter. They have a Zul'jin. Generally, if you have low core damage heroes but high wave clear, it's better to bring the waves up and let catapults actually do work for you at this stage of the game. But if you have high core damage heroes like Zul'jin, who can just auto attack significantly, and they're just going to farm the Leoric coming back, because why not?
The Chastise does catch Lauber mid-jump. Not going to be able to farm Captain Rex. I spoke too soon. Never mind. Captain Rex, my try. They're all going down. Drakir is next. How do you get another team wipe out of this situation? Is Wraith just going to sit in court? No, they're stepping out. Do we actually get a second? Okay. I guess we just feel like running up the death count. I don't know. But either way, 21 kills to nothing, dude.
That was a bit of a stomp.
Oh, really?
It's just a bit of a stomp, though.
You think so?
It was partially a self-inflicted stomp, to be honest. If Three-Leg had not made so many comp mistakes and definitely had not forced that 15-16 fight as hard as they did, I think that game could have actually been much closer.
I definitely could see minor changes in the execution, if even a couple of these kills went a little bit different. But Lauber just so consistently able to do whatever he wanted in this game. Diving backline for free, just able to camp on that backline, doing anything. He seemed like he got personally a kill on everyone multiple times that game. Ty feasting, actually just barely outdamaged by his Lunara here by Bishops in game 1. And for those of you unfamiliar with the Masters Clash format, regardless of how the games go, we will always play 2 matches per series. So we are going to see 8 games today. We're going to see 8 games, 2 per series, 4 series total. We have 1 more game in this one. The team that wins, if you win 2 matches, both of them, you get 3 points. If the teams tie, each team gets 1 point. And then after we take it into game 2, we will have a match featuring Oxygen, and CavalierGuest does coach Oxygen Esports, so he will not be able to join us for that cast, but afterward Cav will rejoin us.
So I'll be casting 3 out of the 4 matches, basically.
3 out of 4 matches, 6 out of 8 total games. Oxy Rage Quit is the closest according to Fish. Fish is a player in our last series of the day, and unfortunately, as Cav said, that is the one series that he will be unavailable to cast. So I'm looking here, and I want to say, Cav, do you see anything that jumps out to you in this talent screen?
Actually, there's one thing that bothers me a little bit, which is that Zul'jin meant the exact right build, except for the 13. You generally go the route at 13 with this build so that you can self-enable the guillotine, because it only has a 10-second cooldown if you miss. So you can keep trying to root people, and then hit your 1 and hit your R, and the root lasts long enough that guillotine is guaranteed to hit. But I guess if they were exclusively using it for Hammer, who's slowed anyway, or they were exclusively using it to follow up Sanct, timed out correctly, which it seems like they were doing, that it seems like that's okay to go the movement speed. I think it's a little bit debatable, but
yeah, I mean, we could definitely see that Bang Bush was not struggling to pick up kills, was not struggling to get CC onto the intended target as they wished right there. Absolutely excellent team play here in game 1. Let me go ahead and swap this over to me while we wait for game 2. And I'm just wondering, I'm not the best Leoric player myself, and I hate to just every 3 seconds, just, Cav, what do you think of this? Cav, what do you think of this? But what's going on there with that March of the Black King lock-in? Because I was expecting at times, like, I was like, oh, Leoric's going to come in here, hit the big flank, hit the March of the Black King, or hit the Entomb, but we saw March instead. What's going on there, Cav?
So March of the Black King is something you take, not necessarily when Entomb is bad, but when you need the self-healing to stay alive. March of the Black King Deckard can be pretty good, because Deckard is all single target healing, and he's going to throw the pots onto people who are more critical to the fight than Leoric is. And it gives you unstoppable frames. So into heavy CC comps, it can actually allow you to play the game. And Entomb can be really bad into Bunker. Bunker is one of the best counters in the entire game to Entomb comps. I assume, based on how he was using it, though, that their offlaner just really feeds on Leoric frequently and feels like he needs the self-healing portion more than the unstoppable frames, just to stay alive. But that's a result of being, split in fights and to some degree not playing around vision. Because generally, if you play around vision a little bit better as Leoric, you have that E. If you want to aggressively E in, you can find opportunities to get a good Entomb and trade 1 for 1, and then your team can back up, and Leoric will come back sooner, right? There's a dynamic of it's okay to die as long as I trade. But
I think they were missing out on that second part there. As long as I trade. And now we see, going over here to the draft for game 2, we've taken it to Battlefield of Eternity. Bang Bush going to pick first, indicating a map pick by Three-Legged Cat. Is that how this works here, Kev? For Masters Clash as well? The format loser picks mapper pick?
I think it alternates regardless.
I see. That would make sense for a best of 2 format.
Yeah, I think that would definitely be the way to do it.
Alrighty, and we what is this in my chat? Arkansas redeeming 5 different Women Want Me, Fish Fear Me hats, as well as Fish getting in 2. Let me get that stupid hat. Okay, chat, here, I'm gonna take us off draft for just a moment. Hello? Let me see.
I need to unpause the stream so I can see the hat.
Yeah, let's go. All right. It's going to be here. You guys are going to be seeing the game and not me, so I don't know why you feel the need to make me wear the hat. But either way, let's get back into the draft. I promise you, I guess I'll be wearing it for pretty much the rest of the games today. That was 7 redemptions, if my count is correct, and we do have 7 more games played today, left to be played, rather. So we will indeed be forced to wear the hat for the entirety of today. Hanzo getting banned out again by Three-Legged Cat, Sylvanas ban as well. Junkrat, Hanzo not giving anything in the light of day for the entire series here for both of these games. And I gotta wonder if there's a bit of a disparity here. Do you just sandbag as Bangbush? Do you conceal strats a little bit?
I don't know what strat you could conceal that. Like, I feel like you just draft metacomps, right? They're picking Li Ming first. Li Ming is a hero that is really good on Battlefield of Eternity. I think they're going to just pick things that they would normally pick, because it's not, the games we see publicly are not the only games that exist, right? Scrims exist. Everyone knows everyone's Smurf unless you work really hard to keep it hidden, so you know if someone's practicing something different. So if you actually have some sort of cheese on BOE, you won't show it here, but you will just pick standard comps. There's no reason to like hide anything.
Makes perfect sense. Li Ming, a pretty classic Battlefield of Eternity character, loves to play around the lack of vision that teams have, just being able to jump people whenever, loves to just poke onto that Immortal forever, and look for resets whenever possible. Drakir picking up the Blaze, Maitri and Lunara, and we see Diablo Rehgar, on the other hand. I always love to see Diablo Li Ming, just see the synergy between the players. Diablo lining things up perfectly with the Ming. It can be something that can have a kind of higher skill floor for teams that are not particularly coordinated, teams that are lower than this level. But when you actually have teammates that are in sync, that are communicating with each other, the ability to aggressively set up kills and thus turn those kills into resets and farm entire teams, absolutely amazing to see. Yrel taken away by Three-Legged Cat here, down 0-1. That is the rest of their bans for this series. Bangbush now getting one last one as well. And apparently I miscounted the redemptions. You guys redeemed the the Women Want Me Fish Fear Me hat one more time than necessary, as we have 7 more games remaining and 8 redemptions. Garrosh taken away for Bangbush.
Is that, I mean, necessary is a strong word. The Garrosh ban is actually, so the Diablo ban is not, the pick is not only a good pickup for synergy, it's actually a deny. Li Ming really struggles to kill Diablo because of his spell shield at 1, and Garrosh is really good in the Diablo. So they took the Diablo, they banned the one bad tank matchup, and now they're in a position where whatever tank gets picked up, Li Ming can probably just kill that tank, depending on the support behind.
Even say an Anubarak?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay. And now we see Johanna Yaya on the Imperious, Captain Rex running it back on the Anduin. After so much aggressive play from Lauber, I'm looking at Captain Rex to back up a little bit here, especially into that Genji. I look at this, the Li Ming Genji combo, such a classic pairing, able to be aggressive on anybody across the screen in a moment's notice with Li Ming's range, Genji's mobility, and of course the thing they have in common, resets. Their ability to burst someone down and combine, just delete one person and turn that into an entire team wipe is going to be huge. And Bangbush looked like they could generate kills whenever they wanted them. I think Three-Legged Cat's got to be a little bit afraid here.
I mean, they definitely need to be afraid because they picked main tank Imperious, which means into this comp they should never land a spear all game since they have no setup for it. And if you don't land a spear, Imperious is not a very good hero, as it turns out.
I'm going to need a source on that one, Cav, because Imperious brings all these other things to the team, like...
main tank Imperious in CCL without a setup CC like Brightwing Poly had a 0% win rate over 24 games.
You know, I wish I could say I was surprised, but I had so many EU tank mains in my SL games during that era, just running it down. So I fully believe it. We're waiting here for Game 2 to load in on Battlefield of Eternity. Looks like we got it going here. Going into Battlefield, last game of the series, regardless of the result. Let's take a look. Three-Legged Cat, we've got Hiraeth taking it from Sergeant Hammer to Greymane, much more mobile this time. Drakir on the Blaze, Maitri playing Lunara, Captain Rex on Anduin, and Johanna Yaya on Imperious. Cav, I'm going to give you the chance to get our other team in here this time.
So we have Henning on Rehgar, Lauber on that Diablo, Bishops on Genji, Sko on Li Ming, and up in the top lane we will have Tai on Hogger. Hogger Blaze is actually a pretty neutral matchup as far as the offlane goes. Both of them just sort of clear and rotate. Neither one can really do much to the other one. So most of the action in this game should be the bottom. And as I say that, it's main tank Blaze. Oh god, I don't know if that's better or worse.
Offlane Imperious. As we see Bangbush controlling the vision in this middle neutral area. Expect to see a lot of Genji floating around, looking for whatever rotations he can get, especially into Imperius. Love to get those ganks onto a character that doesn't have a ton of ability to survive them. Bishop's already with the aggressive agile dismount, blade dashing right on out of there. Hold on, jet propulsion lands onto Henning, who will take a significant chunk of damage. Not quite. Oh, never mind, is enough to finish him off. And three-legged cat coming into this first game ready. Also, Imperius absolutely chunking Hogger in the top lane as well. And what a turnaround already from the previous game, but they've got to follow it up after this.
I guarantee you a spear landed. We didn't see it, but there's no way Hogger's that low without a spear.
And now Bishops and Tai here in this top lane. Genji pressuring the Imperius while Hogger just looking to soak onto this camp. However, the recognition from Three-Legged Cat that with the Genji top, Bangbush will not be able to contest this bottom siege. They're going to go ahead and trade bottom siege for top siege. Tai looking to finish it off. And now both teams are going to pressure out a bit. Here's Heraith on the rotation. Floating over towards top.
What? No! You just push! You saw 3 builds up! Greymate,
The person who hits buildings the hardest should never rotate if you're just going to be pushing. Okay, he came back. We're good. It's fine.
Lauber.
Nah, Lauber goes down. Diablo's not a good early game hero, and no tank is good when their DPS are not there. So Li Ming going all the way up and then having to come all the way down. And then Hogger actually making this rotation as well. I don't know. Bangbush seems like they're throwing a little bit. They're just like, their rotations have not been good this game.
Okay, well, we're only 2 minutes into the game. Still, anything can happen, but Three-Legged Cat has to feel good about this start. After a bit of a rough game last time, there's another aggressive jet propulsion followed by Chastise, but Captain Rex immediately gets dived on by Lauber and by Bishops, will go down. Let's get some of those resets in here. Henning very, very low in the back. Forced to be zoned out a little bit right here. Does not appear to have a healing fountain. Sko also low. Bishop's low, but the beautifully timed stun, flip, orb combo from Lauber and Sko right there. Love to see a bit of that synergy. Getting this bot lane clear, leading into objective number 1. Both teams definitely gonna want to go ahead and pop over to their bruiser camps, get these pushing away during this first objective.
That's a really good example of the classic mistake that a lot of people make in HotS, which they see someone in danger and they try to save them, so they switch targets. If someone's gonna die, just let them die. At least try to get the counter kill. They could have all gone on 3. They could have all gone on Rhaegar, and he would have died, and they would have traded support for support. But instead, they ended up not getting any kills and giving up more kills trying to save the Anduin.
Lauber with the aggressive vision control right here, stepping up for the defense. We're going to see a lot of this play center around red side Immortal, Captain Rex, and Maitri tanking an orb to the face. Lauber, though, dropping rapidly at this point. Bishop's diving onto Captain Rex in that backline, trying to 1v1 him. Will not be able to get that finish. Not every shuriken landing right there. Little bit of siege from Sko as the defense continues. And blue side bruisers still pushing away in this bot lane that does not have a gate to defend. Tai forced to clear it out.
It's really important to note the walls are actually much better at clearing because there's 2 towers versus 1, and towers and forts do the same amount of damage. So not having that wall means that camp could actually do far more damage. And as a result of that early exchange getting the wall and that being forced to rotate, it looks like 3-leg is going to be able to get Prio on halftime. And we all know what's coming next, right? Bangbush is all going to run it. This is 5. Yeah, we already see Bishop set up on the flank here.
With the stun over the wall, followed up by the agile dismount from Bishops right there. And wow, Captain Rex just absolutely melting, getting some resets for Sko. Drakira's in here in the middle of things, wants to get out, will actually be able to, waltzing right on out of there. We see the defense, while Tai, meanwhile, playing full rage on that DPS. I don't know why I mentioned the raise. It doesn't affect the PvE anymore ever since Hogger got nerfed a little bit after release. It's insane that it ever did, to be honest. Lauber now sticking around, will back out of there now that the win on the Immortal race has been secured. Slight advantage here for Bangbush, but after the rough early game, got punched in the mouth a little bit, got a little bit surprised, but hey, they turned it right around, right at the ship immediately. First objective, Bangbush.
I feel like Bishops is agile dismounting over walls, not just for scouting, but just to stack his level 4. He just agile dismounts over a wall, throws 2 rounds of shurikens at a clump of heroes, and then immediately just ease out.
Now, Lauber looking for Maitri there on the stun, did not find him, found Drakir instead, backed on out of there. The siege continues, probably only going to get this gate, maybe a little bit of chip damage on the fort. And there's Drakir with the stun, followed up by a fast cleanse from Henning. Deflect from Bishops, gonna walk away. Big damage onto Bishops, though. My try stunned out by Lauber, dropping very low, will be okay, and they're not done yet. Three-legged cat running back in here, chasing Lauber down.
Ooh. Yeah, I have a feeling like, oh god.
Oh, Lauber! I'm trying to keep everybody in the camera. We see Li Ming go down. Lauber will be saved. It looked like a kill onto Lauber was inevitable, but no, able to get the Henning heal just in time. Li Ming did go down. There's Jet Propulsion actually connecting onto Genji. Bishops is completely at this point. This fort is dead. It's merely just gonna need the slightest of nudges. A strong breeze will take it out, or maybe just a singular skill shot from one of the members of Three-Legged Cat. Drakir finishing it off right there.
I don't know what you're talking about. Breeze is on a completely different team.
And now bottom siege has been secured by Three-Legged Cat. Expect to see some pressure over to this top side now. Three-Legged Cat already securing that fort. Johanna Yaya lands the spear onto Tai, but finds himself chased down by this Genji, or rather interfered with by this Genji. Gonna take some damage. Both bruisers of both teams looking a little bruised here, if you will. Your Wraith jumping in, not gonna be able to get it. There's a big Arcane Orb, and Lauber's on the scene. This is a full 5-on-5. Johanna Yaya with the stab. Jet Propulsion, everybody's trading hits. Lauber gets the cleanse there going in. Everybody's taking a bunch of damage, but nobody in particular going down. 3-on-3 for the kills. And it looks like that's going to be it for the brief moment. Hold on, we're still sticking around right here looking for some action.
Imagine thinking the brawling would stop.
This is ARAM after all. And now Johanna Yaya looking for the spear, does not find it. There's an agile dismounts from Bishops, who just jumped into his death immediately. All right.
Yeah, he's been jumping in all game. That's the first time he's died.
Oh, APOC comes out from Lauber. They're 4v4 right here, because actually 3v4 with Hogger in the bottom lane. They still took it anyway. Wrath of the Anguirus gonna nab. Lauber gets the ancestral healing. Johanna Yaya's got nothing though. And now Tai on the scene is able to get that kill. Lauber going back in, lands a beautiful wall stun onto My Try. Wraith forced to back off. And wow, even Genji-less. Bangbush still completely confident in their ability to generate these kills. My Try dropping very low. Skull actually going down. Wow, Lauber's still in there. Drakir gets wall banged. It's a 1-for-1. Bishop's on the scene though, trying to finish off her Wraith. Oh, wow. Okay, Bishops. Wait, he's not even done yet. He's diving in, gets the X strike. A double kill completely by himself, redeeming himself after the int. There's a Lunara as well. Tai already on the race while his teammates are just cleaning it up. And I gotta say, if there's anything, there's almost no better way to waltz back into the game immediately after jumping into 5 people and dying than what we just saw from Bishops right there. This is a huge race lead that's going to appear for Bangbush at this moment, just looking like they have a handle on every fight regardless of the circumstances, outside of a little bit of shakiness in the early game. Drakir approaching now.
He has to back up, right? Yeah, oh, well, maybe not. Maybe he's gonna get, okay, but there's no follow-up. Why would you stun and there's no follow-up?
There's the spear, gets interrupted by Wave of Force right there, preventing the spear from getting the full damage. Bangbush able to tag their bruiser camp in addition to this immortal that they will secure here. If he doesn't want the Ayaya to be pronounced, then he should change his name. That is true. I will call him Johanna Ayaya every time. Can I get a Mak Ayaya in the chat? As we see Immortal will go top lane, pressuring onto this top fort. Bangbush looking to get any siege they can. Lauber chilling on that flank. Oh, there's the jet propulsion in. APOC combo.
Through the wall. He deserves to die for that, but it doesn't matter. The massive
double kill.
The massive X-strike.
Ancestral healing gonna heal Lauber back up after losing a bit of HP on that fort dive. Bishop as well, tanking 3, 4, 5. What are you doing? All right.
That's the I'm out of cooldowns panic dance where he's like, I thought I could.
And now this immortal will pressure out onto the top keep wall as it gets cleared out by Three-Legged Cat off of what seemed like a fairly unnecessary, unforced error from Genji. And now Bangbush looking to secure this bottom siege as soon as it comes up. But we do see Three-Legged Cat on the scene flanking in right here. Imperious and Blaze back to back. Oh, there's the stab onto Lauber going in. They want this. Gets Lauber yet again. Ancestral Healing is not available to save him. Lauber dropping, I want to say dropping, but Diablo's so tanky. Double spear from Johanna Yaya gets the double kill. There's the X-Strike for the damage. Hogger not afraid though. Hortipults right on into there and melts immediately. Bishop's actually getting the shuriken kill over the wall though. Wow. Finishing off the Imperious Johanna Ayaya. I've been only saying I think a couple Ayayas. I think I've missed one ya each time. Bishop's jumping in there. And now Lauber's back on the scene with 2 members of Bangbush dead, still unafraid, is able to shadow charge right on out of there. And I want to say the brawling will end. Okay.
You could never be certain, but it does look like that. They're going to back up. They're going to get their bruisers. And this game, you know, it's a half a level difference. It's actually relatively even on structures. So it's going to come down to the next like 2 or 3 team fights. Who actually ends up winning this game?
Yep, 9 kills to 11. Both teams level 14 at the moment. Bruiser camp being secured for 3-legged cat. Because we saw Bangbush get their bruiser camp at the end of last objective, they will be unable to take their own leading into this, so of course they will take this top siege instead, get a little bit of threaten onto this keep.
It looks like... okay. No, that's a Genji. He should be fine. There's no point in click CC for him. So he's out, and we're going to start in defensive positions, actually, which means it's going to be very much down to who gets the first kill is what I was going to say. Who controls the middle, who gets the first kill should win halftime, but they beat me to the punch, and now we should have this. But knowing Bangbush, they're going to run at the enemy team anyway. They're not going to let them have this for free. That's the APOC. Lauber actually not in range of anyone when he hits the APOC.
Apocalypse not connecting. Rapidly and Gyros onto Diablo. Does get the Ancestral Healing just in the nick of time. Still very low, though, as he runs away. Bishops and Lauber both low. Oh, the crossfire from Blaze. He would have loved to connect that and maybe finish off Lauber. Not quite there. And indeed, halftime did go to 3-legged cat off of the advantage of that 5v4 there. And they're going to back off, get some taps before playing the rest of this objective. Siege Camp and Catapult pressuring this top keep does demand a rotation from Drakir. Similarly, Ty, on the other hand, clearing out Bruisers and Catapult in that bottom lane. I expect to see a 4v4 scuffle, though. Lauber on the flank, going in on my try. Actually lands on a... Oh, wait, Heading. Wait, Heading's getting deleted over here. I'm trying to keep everything. These guys fight over such a big area all the time. Heading's got some dot damage taken away on him in that bot side. Johanna Ayaya actually gets pulled into the Arcane Orb from Sko. Bishop's X-striking on out of there, trying to make it to the tap. Lunara going down. These guys fight over these most ridiculously massive areas. I need a bigger zoom out option to try and capture all this action. And now let me see here. There we go. We've got Shift Z bringing us a full widescreen view. Maybe that'll be able to capture the insane spreads we see here. Lauber stabbing in, getting stabbed in by Johanna Yaya, trying to get the flip. Johanna Yaya is first to fall in this new skirmish. Wraith second, and now 2 kills in this fight, 3 kills. And Drakir will surely be the 4th as we see the chase. Earthgrasp Totem used to secure it from Henning. Despite losing this first major portion of this Immortal, despite the tie drop, still, every time Bangbush looks like they're in danger, they're just able to outplay in these fights and able to pick up more and more kills. We've seen 26 kills in 14 minutes. Absurd. Just the level of brawling, the level of ARAM feel to this is comical, to say the least. Ty stepping forward, chucking a bit of dynamite onto that fort right here. It's a martial art, whatever works. Fist of the North Star reference. We see some push. They want to get a keep if they can.
And it is a relatively low shield Immortal. It's worth noting. It's going to lose its ranged form. It's going to lose the entire shield before it even gets to the keep wall. So realistically, with the poke from Greymane and Lunara, they should be able to save the keep. The keep will take some damage, but like you can see, it's even dropping
down to half of its actual health bar here. But if they get a kill, it's a little bit different. And as I say that, Drakir almost gets blown up.
And now this Immortal is getting some damage onto this keep. Red side looking for whatever damage they can get, but they've realized that they will not be able to finish off this keep. Looking to back off. Lauber stunning in, forces the bunker from Blaze. Bullet does connect onto Lauber, taking out a chunk of his HP bar. And now Three-Legged Cat aggressing forward. Actually, never mind, on the retreat. Hortapult out from Ty, buying him some time. Apocalypse combo from Lauber, actually flipping Captain Rex out of the Apocalypse. Light Bomb on himself, almost enough to save him. Huge stun from Ty. Three kills for Bangbush, and 4 kills. Let's make it 5. Here, Wraith trying to get on out of there. Bishops chasing after, follows him with the blade dash, able to finish him off. Bishops, oh, not dying to the keep again for a second time in this game. And this will complete the 2-0 in favor of Bangbush here in one of the bloodiest games I have ever seen in Heroes of the Storm. 31 kills in 16 minutes, absolute insanity.
Hey, Makri, you're not gonna believe me, but 21 kills is how many kills they got last game.
It's about the total combined count, because Three-Legged Cat only got a handful.
The last game, Three-Legged Cat only got 1. Now it's 21-10 instead of 21-1, but it's still 21. And if you hit blackjack, you just win. Like that's the rules of the. Right. But if you go over, then you lose. You know, following traditional blackjack rules. If Bangbush had gotten one more kill in either one of those games, they would have lost. They stopped at like just the perfect time, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm. They were like, guys, we can't go bust on this one. Okay, we hit our perfect blackjack. We have an ace and a king. Let's just stop right there. What an excellent performance there from Bangbush. I will say, a little sloppy in terms of getting picked off here and there, but it honestly didn't seem to bother them. Just able to outplay every team fight. No member of Bangbush having more than 3 deaths. No member of Three-Legged Cat having fewer than 3 deaths. Absolute insanity here in Game 2. Bangbush takes the 2-0. They will take 3 points here in the group stage, advancing their standings as we wait to head on into our second match of the day. Match 2, I will remind you, is Oxygen Esports versus Rage and Quit Gaming. And because my co-caster here, CavalierGuest, is the coach for Oxygen Esports, he will not be joining us. He will be stepping out for this next series before returning for Series 3 and 4, Masters Clash Academy versus Chili Mountain, and then finally Inting for Ruby versus Granite Gaming. Kev, just to ask one last question before you have to temporarily leave us. If you had to give one piece of advice to Three-Legged Cat after witnessing this series, what would that be?
I don't want to be mean.
Just one.
Just one piece of advice. Supports are the most important hero in team fights by far. And if you die at the opening of any team fight as a support, your positioning was bad.
So I'm reading here. Yeah, that is true. We did see Captain Rex into such an aggressive tank player like Lauber, just getting popped to start a lot of these fights right there, and starting a lot of Three-Legged Cat's fights on the wrong foot. But I like what I see from Ruglord here. Apparently Bangbush plays better when down a player. Yeah, I'd like to imagine Bangbush, that's their ritual leading into these team fights, is they sacrifice one of their players, and this leads to them winning overall. It seems to be a winning strategy here against Three-Legged Cat. What a starting series to open today. So much bloodshed. All right.
I mean, it's a lot of fluids shed, right? Not all of the heroes in Heroes of the Storm have blood. That's not the default liquid.
Okay,
even.
let's look at the characters that we have here. Okay, at most there is like one character that doesn't have blood, and that would be Diablo.
Genji has a lot of parts that bleed oil.
That is true. That is true, yeah. And I guess even humans have other fluids. You know, you've got bile and whatnot, saliva. Who even knows if Diablo bleeds in the first place? But the overwhelming majority of characters in this game able to bleed blood. This is that thrilling critical analysis you guys deserve for Masters Clash. CavalierGuest, thank you for casting Series 1 with me. I look forward to your return in Series number 3.
Yeah, I will be back later, chat. Keep Mockery honest for me. Later, guys.
I'm staying honest. I've got the hat on, chat, right here. It didn't come off my head the entire time, and it's not gonna come off because you guys are just able to dictate my fashion choices for mere points on a whim. I am joining our lobby for series number 2. We're waiting on all the players to come in right here. Imperius doesn't have blood? Imperius doesn't have blood? I don't know. I guess that does make sense. I don't expect Ariel to have blood, and I don't think Ariel and Imperius are that different from one another. They're all angels at the